Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the Creation Clubhouse Goldenhills Plantation. This house is one of the best on survival mode, so we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of this house on survival mode. So there will be a timestamp in the description if you want to skip the tour. But before we go on, let's actually tour my farm really fast. Okay. So I already did make a video of the tour of my farm, but let's do a more thorough tour. Here we have some apiaries. Here we have my vineyard. Around here we have a smelter, tanning rack. Here, anvil, grindstone. So I'm trying to go kind of fast because there's a lot to go through. The reason I have this blister wort is because it's the most valuable thing you can sell. Or, like everything you plant here will generate money, and it'll depend on how much it's worth. The rest of it's for food. Juniper berries, snowberries, taters. Milk my cow really fast. Milk my goat. We have windmill where you can make some flour, straw out of wheat. Now coming around this area, the stable if you want to buy a horse. And here is all my NPCs.
May the gods watch over your battles, friend.
No comment on that one. I already collected my profits before filming this video, and I made 3,000 gold. Oh look, he teleported out here.
Need something?
I'm glad I caught that on video, dude. You gonna wake up? He'll wake up eventually, dude. The thing about these glitches is they have a way of fixing themselves. Okay. Inside we have kids' room. Eating area. Oven right here. You can actually, there's sacks of flour here usually, I picked them up. There's salt here usually, I picked them up. The reason I picked them up is because they actually come back all the time. There's a butter churn here. Make some butter. This is where your crops will show up, but you should also pick your crops. Enchanting room, also an alchemy room. Small but useful. Some people prefer to do their enchanting and alchemy in exactly very close areas for obvious reasons. If you know about some of the glitches and exploits you can do in this game, you know why. Some books on the shelf. Okay, so you can put some books on your shelf. Oh, and let's check out the balcony here. It's a nice place. I actually missed something, but we'll leave that a little mystery. There's one more area that you can find for yourself. Nothing important happens there, so There's a little well over there, down in that area near those trees. But there's just a wolf that spawns there. Okay. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages now, okay? So, the first advantage is that you just have to go here and complete a quest to get this place. Unlike with Breeze Home, you don't have to, you don't have to buy it. You can just complete the quest and you will own it, okay? That advantage is kind of offset by another disadvantage, but we'll talk about that later. Another advantage is that you can assign a steward and hire workers, okay, to work for you and passively generate gold off of everything you've planted, okay, and also milk your cows, get some chicken eggs and sell them for you, okay, and they'll make a bunch of money. So you come back and collect your profits, and you'll get profits. Okay, so that's the advantage, that you can passively generate money. Okay, that's actually an amazing advantage because you make bank off of this place even without doing all blister wort. I did pretty low value crops, and I've made like 10,000 gold coming back here before. Okay. Another is that this place, you can use it to create food, okay? Basically, if you check my inventory here, look at all of these. I have all of these things just from, there's rabbit and pheasants. There's like a place where you can, I don't know if I really mentioned it, but there's a hanging rack where you can get like pheasants and rabbits. Down near your kitchen and stuff. I have 21 vegetable soups just from farming. Okay, it's all from farming. And you save a lot of money by not having to buy food. Okay. Next is that you can level up your alchemy very quickly. Okay, you can basically make super high value potions. Just basically look up the recipe for any potion that you can, make. I mean, there's a lot of setups for this that you can do, where you can make some high value potions that you can just make a ton of them, get your alchemy to 100 very quickly. Okay. Another thing is that the house stuff respawns. So if you want to take the cheese wheels and just hoard cheese, right, you can just pick up cheese wheels, leave for a week, and come back, collect a bunch of money, and then pick up more cheese, okay? I don't know why you would want the cheese, but the salt is super useful. The flour is super useful. There's, I think, a thing of butter that you can pick up. You can pick up the pheasant, the rabbit, all that stuff. You can just keep picking it up. And another thing that's really nice about that is that if you're walking around and you accidentally smack into stuff and mess up your house, right, you don't actually have to worry about it, because your house will reset and it'll look pretty again when you come back. Okay. Another thing is that this house is right on the border of several holds. Okay, so let's look at the map. Right up here is Solitude. Over here is Markarth. Down here is Falkreath, right? And over here is Whiterun. So basically, this house is going to come up a lot when you're just traveling on survival mode without any fast travel. Basically, you'll end up coming here a lot because it's just right on the border of these different holds. You know what I mean? Okay. Another reason is that it's on these open plains, which is really nice. So you can ride your horse from here to Whiterun pretty, faster than you'd think, because it's basically wide open. Riding your horse from here to here is a lot more difficult, because there's rivers, there's mountains, there's a lot of stuff you have to go around, okay? Same with this way. It's also more difficult to go this way. It's a little easier to go down south, but the easiest is to go over to Whiterun, because it's just plains. And the plains are super nice for travel. Another thing is that this is basically the only house that's in Rorikstead, right? You can, Rorikstead is a nice thing to have for this house, because you can go over to here, and, there's a tavern, I think, I don't know, but there's stuff to do in Rorikstead, right? If you want to just hang out on your plantation and have your family here and just hang out here a lot, you can just head on over to Rorikstead, right? Instead of having to make this long-ass trip over to Whiterun. Rorikstead is a nice little thing to have. It's just a little village right nearby, okay? Another advantage is that this house basically feels like a cozy-ass farm, right? There's no other house that has a vibe quite like this farm. You feel like a farmer living here. It's very unique, you know what I mean? No other house is like this. Okay, another thing is that there's that farmhand house over there, so it's kind of like you get two houses for one. There's a little house for your farmhands. The butter churn is another good advantage. You can make butter. That basically helps you make a shit ton of food. The windmill also helps you make a shit ton of food. Make sure you're walking up and picking all your wheat manually, because you'll get 4 wheat for each wheat you pick, instead of just 7 wheat, which is in your pantry. So just go up and pick a bunch of wheat, and then grind it. It will respawn, so don't worry about that. Grind it up on your windmill, right? And you'll have a bunch of flour to use. Okay, I usually get like 15 flour. And then another thing is that you can milk the cows and the goats to get extra milk. Okay, you get like 12 milk, but then you get like 15 milk total if you basically milk all the cows, right? And then another thing is that the design of the buildings in this house kind of match vanilla, right? A lot of the, DLC homes kind of don't feel super vanilla, but this one does feel like it could be in the vanilla game. Just like looking at sort of the interior decorating here, like they're not going excessive with the amounts of these like weapon racks or whatever. They're there, but it feels like something in the base game, right? This is all just like so cramped and like feeling like the base game, and matches it to me. Like everything is very utilitarian almost, I don't know. It's not like some of the other, like Mythwatch or Mirthwatch, I guess, is very different in that it's huge. It has like a place to put every kind of weapon, you know what I mean? This is not huge. This feels like cozy and small. And feels very vanilla. Okay? Another advantage is that although this house is small, right? You do technically get 3 stories. You get 1, 2, 3 stories on this house, right? That's actually pretty rare to have 3 stories. Even some of the bigger houses in the vanilla game don't have 3 stories. Alright? Okay, so that's basically all of the advantages, right? So let's talk about some of the disadvantages. There's not as many, but the first one is the biggest disadvantage, okay? This house is far away from Like, this house is very far away from anything, any kind of fast travel. All right, to leave here, you need to ride a horse forever. To get here, you need to ride a horse forever. Right? It's far away from civilization. It gives you a reason to come to Rorkstead, sure, but like, it can be a pain in the ass to come out here, right? So if you wanted to have a family out here, you might not see them as often as you want, because you have to basically make the ride all the time. You know, it's not that bad once you get used to it, right? It's not like it's taking you 30 minutes to get here every time, right? Just fast travel to Whiterun and ride for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. I don't know. It's not super bad, but it's definitely not as convenient as like the Tundra Homestead, for instance, right? Another disadvantage is that there's an Imperial camp right outside of this, right outside of your farm. Okay, for me it's a disadvantage because I'm a Stormcloak. Okay, my character is a Stormcloak. So it's just kind of a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, this is something that's also an advantage I didn't notice. Look at all this dried stuff. This probably respawns as well. Nice. I'm gonna have to harvest some garlic. Okay. Anyway, enough getting off track. Another disadvantage is the dragon attacks. There's a lot of dragons that constantly attack here. Okay. It's not as frequent as some areas like Riften or whatever, but it happens. It's happened to me like 2 or 3 times. Another disadvantage, if we look at the map, going this way, there's a lot of mountains here that make it more difficult to go this way, as well as this river. Okay, there's a lot of natural land barriers here, and that can be annoying. So that's a bit of a disadvantage in survival mode. Okay. Another disadvantage is that this quest to get this plantation can be kind of annoying to complete, especially without a guide. Okay, so if you never use guides, there is some unmarked things you have to find to complete this quest to get this farm. Okay, it's like if you're a Morrowind player, it'll be easy for you. Okay, but if you're used to Skyrim and you need the quest markers everywhere, it might be more difficult. Okay. And then another disadvantage is that you have to pay for the upgrades to this area. So you have to pay for basically better, farm hands, better, you have to pay for the windmill, you have to pay for the bunkhouse, you have to pay for all that stuff. It doesn't come fully furnished, and it can be pretty expensive. So it is a free house, but the flip side of that is that it is not free to upgrade. So it might even end up being more money than Breeze Home. I'm not actually sure, because the things that you have to buy are pretty expensive. And then the last disadvantage is one that goes along with any Creation Clubhouse, and that is that moving your family here may or may not work out. Like, they may glitch out and they may not come here. I've heard from the wiki that if you just adopt them straight from the orphanage, if you glitch it without killing Grelod first and then you adopt them, that they'll just glitch out. I don't know how you would do that, but there are apparently ways to accidentally mess it up so that your kids or your wife just disappears. So what I always say is that you should save before moving your family somewhere. Okay. And that's the basic gist of this place. Thank you for watching, anyone who is. and have a nice day. Bye.